Yeah, this is the European Championships as opposed to World Cup. So yeah, we're getting anthems and we're getting flags. This is going to be the final of the lightweight men's pair. You can see the contenders in front of you. And we will go up to the start and have an introduction.
Yeah, you kind of see this event only in the major championships. It doesn't often happen at regattas. There are the two young Moldovans, Dmitry Zinchenko and Nikita Naumanchuk, who is on the left of your picture. And just getting their bows ready. Well, they've said this will be their last race. Sazbo Bence away in the bow seat and Furka Kalman in the stroke seat. And if you're wondering why we're pronouncing those names the other way around, that's because that's what they do in Hungary. And this guy in the stroke seat, more of him, Paul Ruttmann, and the 38-year-old, and Konrad Hulch, the much younger of the two, at 22 in the bow seat. So it is a bit of an oddity, this event, in a way. That's why, you know, lightweight sweep rowing was out of the Olympics post-2016, so we don't see a lot of lightweight sweep rowing. Great to see it here today. These guys weighed in at no more than 72.5 kilos, and crew average must be 70 kilos.
So look at the Moldovans, how short they were on that first stroke. I was waiting for them to slide forwards, but they didn't bother. They pretty much just rode a quarter slide first stroke, as we see the Austrians
Why
getting
is that,
away.
do you reckon?
Just very, very short, very kind of clean, and you know you're going to get the boat away.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout as we look at our drone shot. The Austrians, who are very, very strong favourites to take this race.
Yeah, the Austrians won the preliminary race by 30 seconds, but who's to know what the others were doing in that particular race. That's why the Austrians are over here on this side in lane 3, because we've said before we've reseeded the lanes.
Yeah, the Moldovans who came in third. I mean, actually, we should add that only the first two crews will get medals in this race. World Rowing doesn't award bronze medals for a race where there's only 3 crews. So there's the lad there, Paul Ruttmann, the 38-year-old. He rode into the early 2000s, the policeman, and then he took up triathlon, would you believe. He's done 7:47 for a long-distance triathlon. I don't know if that's the same as the Ironman, but it's a pretty quick time. And then, do you know what? A couple of years ago, Ruttmann decided he'd come back into the sport and try and make his way into the Olympic team. He hasn't quite managed that, but he's in this pair. There's the young Konrad Hulch from Viking Links Club, and there's the triathlete and multi-talented, the man from Polit Sport, I think in Linz, may be wrong on that. But moving the pair nicely, Greg.
Yeah, moving the pair very nicely. No surprise to see these lightweight men's athletes. Very clean, very efficient across the top of the water as we see them going across here now. This is the Moldovans, 38 strokes a minute. Not quite so connected.
Yeah, and it's interesting they've gone out so quickly from the Hungarians who've said this will be their last race. Moldova just next to Romania. But the difference between, you know, Romania, because I guess Colomanici gets a lot of funding for his rowers, the standard of rowing in Moldova is relatively not as high as it is in Romania.
Yeah, it's a very well-funded program in Romania, isn't it? There's a lot of incentive to be a rower in Romania, to put themselves through the training that they do. We know they train very hard. We know they're very tough athletes.
So these two Hungarians in the centre, Sazbo Bence and Furka Kalman, they are two-time European champions in this event. They've been together, well, for donkey's years, really, and you have to go back a long way to see when they did win the Europeans. But they're 27 and 26 years of age. They obtained the Hungarian delegation's only medal in the Serbian capital, Belgrade, where we had the World Championships. They're edging up on the Moldovans now, the two Hungarians. So in this event, they got a second place. I guess, if memory serves, it was probably behind the Italians that day, although I may not have that right. Apologies if it's not. But Austria do look a class apart, don't they?
Yeah, do look a classy combination. We were chatting with Robert Sens this morning, and I wonder how these two lightweights in the pair might sit alongside his 8. It's a big thing that they're putting together, that 8. It's been a real project for them, hasn't it? We'll see them racing later on today.
That's a big shout, Greg, that 8. Yeah, it's coming down in the last race of the day. Project Paris, the Austrian 8. Here come the Hungarians back on the Moldovans. Of course, the Moldovans have had some success with Stocky Sechikov and Korsunov, who were in the double scull. And I think it was 22. Did they get in the final of the World Championships then? That was a great finish for those two. But the Hungarians, they've hung in there, and the Moldovans have tried the only tactic. Fair play to the boys. I mean, they've gone out. They tried to do something different in terms of that race for lanes where the Hungarians did them. And you can see the Hungarians just coming off nicely off the back turn. They got a bit of momentum in that shell as they come out forward, and it's taken them up to the Moldovans.
Well, you can see they're pretty much side by side, 1 metre apart on that graphic. It's certainly going to be a crowd pleaser for us because this regatta's been so well supported. There's a lovely fan zone that the crews will come down to. It's about the 1750 metre mark with loads of kids on rowing machines, lots of rowing and kayak related activities for people to engage in.
And it was so nice to see the young boys and girls, you know, 12, 13-year-old Hungarian rowers come and collect the athletes of, collect the autographs of the athletes. They come with their autograph books. They come to race in the Ergo Championships. That race for, well, there's just a silver medal. There's no bronze medal in this race. Obviously, Austria done and dusted.
Yeah, like you said, Austria look pretty classy here at the front of the field. We can see them coming down with the cyclists tracking the race, the coaches on the far side, we're on the near side, with quite a good-sized grandstand, a good crowd in here, being kept entertained by DJ Mark Cavell, who's putting a nice soundtrack behind all of the rowing that's going on here, building the atmosphere, keeping the atmosphere going. And the home crowd will like the atmosphere when they see that the Hungarian lightweight pair have pushed themselves into silver medal position, and we can get a best picture we've had of the day from the drone to just see how synced up they are, how well they're getting those blades out over the riggers, getting that length they need, even in this big headwind.
Yeah, they got clear water now on Moldova, who looks like they won't medal. There are the Hungarians. They always row in those fluorescent yellow caps. They've got a nice, I don't know whether that's the 2 caps they've always kept, the lucky caps, or whether they buy a new pair every year, Greg.
No, I would have thought they'd be someone that would go back years and years. They'd be proud of those. As you can see, them tracking in here towards 250 to go, hitting the red buoys. They'll be hitting that area we were in yesterday, just around this fence where those bells are ringing now, and the home supporters, I'm sure, will be delighted to see that there could be a silver medal here going the way of the locals.
So it looks like Ruckman is going to get the win. He was in the lightweight men's double scull at the World Championships last year, which is an Olympic class event. This one isn't. But 2 Austrians trying to qualify for the Olympics, Lucas Ryan and Julian Scherbel in the Olympic qualifiers for that event. And so Paul is in this event with Konrad Hulch. But with some success, it rowed beautifully since the first stroke. The field, as you can see, is very spread out.
Yeah, very spread field, but the Austrians have put on a display here as we're coming down towards the line. And it is this group from Austria who are going to take the win in the lightweight men's pair. The crowd are loving it. There's a lot of excitement here. The Hungarian pair going to cross the line now. They will take the silver. And the Moldovan pair, we can see the top of the picture, still bring it in, 36 strokes a minute, coming down over the line. And sadly for them, there will be no medal for 3rd place in this race.
Thumbs up from the Austrians to the Hungarians. Will be good to see a Hungarian crew on the medal ceremony. There we saw Konrad Hulch. I nearly called him Hulch Konrad, which would have been okay if he was a Hungarian, but of course he's not.
That's very good. Martin Cross, you're sat beside me with the laptop, which knows so much that you work so hard on to try and find out the clubs, the names, the ages, anything else different and interesting about these athletes, to do our very best to bring you as much information as we can and hope to increase your enjoyment of these wonderful pictures we're getting from World Rowing here.
Yeah, I am really enjoying these pictures we've got today. I think they're great. I think the drones really complementing the action. There's Moldova coming across the line.
Yeah, and I'm really pleased with the wind as well, that at the moment the wind looks like it's a headwind, but it certainly doesn't seem to be affecting the results in any way. Confirmation there of Hulcher Ruttmann winning for Austria ahead of the Hungarians and the Moldovans.